From the 5 at Soma City in the heart of Toledo, Ohio, it's Late Night with Sammy A. With Sammy tonight are his guests, Erin Wang, Ashley Kent, Ashley Attaby, and Brittany Michelet. Featuring the world-renowned David Martin, please welcome Sammy A.
Yes. Woo! Thank you. Hey guys. Yes. What's up, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mutants at table 9? Welcome to Late Night with Sammy A, also known as your friendly neighborhood Nigerian. Hey, did I ever tell you guys about that one time my younger brother saw God literally? David, this is a true story. I promise you I'm not making this up. My younger brother, he literally got up in the middle of the night and he started pointing at a gray wall in my mommy's bedroom. And he's like, God, it's God. Everybody look, it's God. Now, it was a long time ago, so I don't really remember because I was like 7. But according to my mom, right, it wasn't a big deal at first because my brother talks in his sleep all of the time. And he sleepwalks. In fact, one of my favorite stories growing up with my brother, I was just texting him about this today, is one day he got up, he was sleepwalking, and he had to go to the bathroom, right? And so instead of going to the bathroom, he walked into the kitchen, and he starts to pee in the trash can. Like, this is a true story. And he's peeing in the trash can, and we are just dying. We're laughing because he's sleepwalking, and it's just hilarious. And it was awesome. I remember he's done peeing, and he closes the lid, right? And walks away. And I thought about it years ago. I remember thinking to myself, okay, that's how you know that your mama raised you right there, right? When your mom raised you so right, you're polite even when you're sleepwalking, right? And so that's one of my favorite stories growing up. And I say all that to say, so when he got up in the middle of the night and he's screaming, God, God, we just were like, okay, he's just having another daydream and he's sleepwalking or whatever. Well, we sit down at dinner the next day and we're having a family dinner, and all of a sudden my brother, David, this is true, my brother starts talking. He's like, hey, you remember when we all saw God last night? And at first, I know, right? And at first we were like, okay, somebody told him, you know. And so we're going around, did you tell him? Did you tell him? Nobody told him. And so we're looking like, now we're starting to get really worried, right? Because he's like 5. He's like convinced. And so my mom goes in the other room, she grabs a piece of paper, and she asks my brother to just describe what he saw. And this is a true story, and he described it with such vivid detail. Like, he's talking about, like, you know, there's clouds and trumpets and angels and gold. And I mean, stuff that, like, 5-year-olds do. I have a 5-year-old at home. I mean, they don't talk about that kind of stuff. Actually, I don't have a 5-year-old. She's 7 now, you know. But I have 5 kids, okay? So it gets confusing, right? But kids don't know that stuff. And so I just remember my mom's jaw. You know that thing in the cartoon when your eyes come out and smoke's coming out of your ears? Yeah, exactly. My mom did that. Everybody was blown away. Like, every time someone would come to our house, our aunties and uncles, and you know how, you know, African aunties are always so extra, right? You know, I mean, they would sit down and make my brother tell the story, and everyone loved it except for me. I hated it. I was so jealous of my brother. And I didn't really even care about God at that age, but I wanted to see God so bad. You know, one, because I love the attention that he was getting from everybody, and I like attention, right? The second reason is because that's like the greatest story in the world, right? I love telling stories, and what better story is there than you saw God? Like, literally, right? Imagine you're at a party and everyone's telling their stories like, you know, I jumped off a cliff in Zimbabwe and I went backpacking barefoot in the Himalayas, or whatever it is, you know? And everyone's done, and you step in and you go, well, I saw God literally, you know? And then you just go back to eating chips and nachos. It's like, you cannot top that story. And so I wanted it, and so I begged my brother. It's true. I was like, hey, man, can you teach me how to sleepwalk? Because I figured, you know, sleepwalking is how you saw God. I'm like, if I can sleepwalk, then maybe I can see God. And of course, he wouldn't teach me, you know, because he's mean. I'm still holding that against him right now, but that's a different conversation. Long story, a little bit longer. I ended up just begging God. I remember as a kid, just praying, like, God, I just want to see you. Like, can I just see you, like, literally? And nothing happened. And so middle school, nothing. High school, nothing. And so finally, I'm like, it's over. I'm never going to see God. That's just my brother's story. Well, fast forward, I moved from Lagos, Nigeria, all the way to a random city in Toledo, Ohio. I go through, like, the hardest year of my life. And I find myself in a place where I have to make a decision, right? I have 2 choices. Number 1 is I can stay in this random city called Toledo, Ohio, where I know no one and I have nothing. My other choice is I can choose to move halfway across the country where I had family and the promise of the American dream, really. And you probably hear that and you're like, dude, that's a no-brainer. Why would you not pick that? Well, the problem was I felt this pull to Toledo, and I didn't know what it was. I just felt like I was supposed to be here, and it didn't make any sense. And I just remember thinking to myself, if only, man, I could just find somebody, if only God would just show up and tell me. Well, I go to bed. I think it's February 4th, the year 2000, and I have a dream. I'll spare you the details. But in the dream, I'm in the office with this guy, right? And he just seems like a super duper important guy. You know, I didn't know who it was, but I could tell he was an important guy because I only had a few minutes in his office. And I remember he was in a suit, and I couldn't see his face. Like, it was almost like it was so bright. I remember thinking in the dream, I gotta look at it, but I couldn't make out his face. And in the dream, I just remember going like, this is it. Like, Sammy, this is Jesus, right? Like, I was convinced in the dream that that was Jesus, and this is your shot. And so I'm standing there, and I'm looking at this guy, and he looks at me, and he says, hey, you have a question for me? And I was like, yes, I do. And before I could get the question out, he's like, yes. He's like, you should stay. That's what you're supposed to do. And I woke up in that moment, right? And I just remember thinking to myself, like, all right, this is either like the greatest sign in the world, what I've been praying for, or the Chinese food I ate yesterday is messing with my mind, right? But I didn't care. I was like, that was the only thing I needed. And so I made a decision, and it was like then like the worst decision I could have made, the most illogical decision. I made the decision to stay. Fast forward 21 years later, 5 beautiful kids, 1 amazing wife, great community, incredible adventures. And what started as the dumbest decision I've ever made ended up being the best decision I've ever made. But that's not even the best part of the story. Right? The best part of the story is not that I finally had a dream where I, quote unquote, saw God, right? The best part of the story is a couple years ago, we're sitting at the dining room table, and Nora, my 7-year-old, I think who was 5 then, were praying. And so I prayed for the meal, and we opened our eyes, and I could tell that something was different. And I was like, Nora, what's wrong? What's going on? And she's like, Daddy, she's like, when you were praying, I closed my eyes, and I saw something. Right? This is true. And I get chills right now thinking, I was like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is like 32 years later. We're sitting at the dining room table, and it took me back to my brother saying that he saw God. And so I'm trying to like keep it cool. And I run into the office. I grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, I didn't see God. My brother did, and now my daughter saw God. I can't wait to write this down. And so I looked at her, and I'm like, Nora, what? Just tell me, like, describe it in detail. What did you see? And she looked at me with a confidence and bravado like my younger brother did 32 years ago. And she said, Daddy, when you were praying, I closed my eyes. And she's like, I saw something. And I was like, what did you see, Nora? She's like, I saw Captain Underpants. She did. And I was like, you saw who? She's like, Dad, I saw Captain Underpants. And that is when I knew that this parenting thing is no joke. And so, but thank you guys for hanging out with us and for listening to me ramble. We got a great show today. I'm so excited for you to meet our guests. But before we get going, will you do me a favor and say hi to the best sidekick hype man in the world, Mr. Dave Martin, everybody. Come on. Woo! Yeah. You guys can sit down, sit down, sit down. Yes. Woo! Oh, I feel like I should shake your hand or something. Sorry, man. Do a little dab, do something. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have come up with like a secret handshake or something. That would be good. So,
next time.
Oh, maybe we can do like the Wakanda thing or something. That's kind of cool. That would have been fun.
Good, yeah.
So, how you doing, man?
I'm a little sweaty.
A little sweaty.
Chilly, but I'm good.
Yeah. We have to turn the air on so it wouldn't mess up our audio. So, but glad you're here, man. And so I asked David to be here really because David laughs at everything that I say.
Well,
Just a little bit. And so you use an Android. That almost disqualified you from being my hype man, but I thought you'd be here. So thank you for saying yes, for being on the show. We're going to bring the guests out in a little bit, but before we do that, David, I thought it would be fun to just play a little game. Would you like to play a little game? Is that cool?
I love games.
Anybody? You guys would like to see us play a little game with David the hype man? Okay, so David, we are going to play a game, and the game is called Florida Man or Bible Man.
first of all,
You ready? So for those of you who don't know, hopefully everybody knows. Does everybody know what Florida Man is? For those of you who don't know, nobody knows what Florida. Anybody watching? David, you want to explain what Florida Man is?
okay, so Florida Man is essentially, it's just a series of strange people doing strange things who happen to all be from Florida.
There you go. Strange is actually like a compliment. It's more like idiotic things and insane things. And so if you don't know what it is, Google it when you get home. Just Google Florida Man, and you will be dying. It's basically like I'm trying to be nice here, but it's the most idiotic acts that people do, and it's kind of stupid and it's weird and all that stuff. So anyways, it's like stuff that you're not going to believe. And I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, these Florida stories are crazy, but you know what? Sometimes you read stuff in the Bible, and that's kind of crazy too. And so we're going to play this game. It's really easy. I'm going to read you a story, and you get to tell me if it's Florida man or Bible man story. Okay? Does that sound good? You got it?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, all right. So first one's really easy. I'm going to throw you a couple, layups here, see if you can knock this out. Okay. So first one is man kills goat and drinks its blood. Florida man or Bible man?
I'm going to go with Bible man.
You're going to go with Bible man? That's actually Florida man. Yeah, it is. That's true. I promise you it's true. But you get the game a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you another easy lob here, okay? Man paints a door with sheep's blood, says it's to protect his son. Florida man or Bible man?
Bible man.
Okay, Bible man, good. My man, give him a hand, everybody. That's pretty good. That's good. That was an easy one, though. I got to tell you that, though. So, okay. All right, so let's spice it up a little bit. You ready for this? Florida man or Bible man? All right, part one. So get this. Dude goes to church on Sunday, right? And his plan was to leave after the service. But apparently, this was like a black people church because, and I quote, the preacher went on and on. And before anyone knew what was up, it was past midnight. Long story short, dude was so bored, he not only fell asleep during the sermon, he fell out of a window and crashed the service. See what I did there? He fell and crashed it. Okay. All right. Florida man or Bible man, David? What you got?
Let's see. Florida people, you guys are great. But
You guys are great. For any Florida people watching, we love you. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. To fall asleep.
Do you know this, or are you actually figuring it out, or do you know it and you're just kind of playing?
I know. I'm just kind of.
Do you really know what is it? Well, you don't be so confident.
Bible.
How do you know it's a Bible?
Because
I try to mix it up a little bit there. I try to throw you off a little bit there. So
because you did a good job.
Yeah, I did a good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But I remember you've given, I think, at least 1.5 sermons on that story. So.
Okay. So what's your final answer, Bible man?
Bible man.
It's Bible man. Give him a hand, everybody. Bible man. Good job. Good job. Okay. Acts chapter 20. I love that. Literally, it says in the message, the preacher went on and on. Dude preached past midnight. I've never done that before, so that's pretty amazing. Okay, let's do a couple more of these. All right, you ready for this? This dude was so bummed.
How bummed was he?
Yeah, that's good. So bummed that the woman he was betrothed, is that how you say that? Betrothed.
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 Like tro.
Thrown?
No.
Okay, let's just move on. She broke up with him. He was so mad when she was giving birth, he crashed the party, pushed the midwife out of the way, kicks his ex, and then starts to wrestle with the new boyfriend as his ex is giving birth. Florida man or Bible man? Are you okay? Do we need a little light? You need me to read that again? You give me a summary?
Might as well.
She broke up with him. He wasn't happy, so he went into the hospital, pushed the midwife out of the way, kicked her, starts wrestling the dude who was the current boyfriend while his ex is giving birth. Florida man or Bible man, David? I think you're dying over there, but
man,
okay.
Both of those are spicy. So let's go with Florida man.
Florida man, final answer?
Yes.
It's Florida man. Come on now, good job. Well done, man. Good job. Hey, congratulations. Give it up for David for being the first winner of Bible Man. Give yourself a hand, David. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. We're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to turn late night into a girls' night. See you soon. Come on. Hey, welcome back to the show. We are glad that you are here. I didn't say this earlier, David, but kind of the theme of this season of Late Night with Sammy is friendship. And I tell you what, I could not be more excited for our guests today. They are excited to be here. We're going to turn this thing into a girls' night. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, would you please welcome to the stage my friends, Erin Wang, my wife, Ashley Adderby, Brittany Mickelay, Ashley Kent. Come on in, ladies. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Woo! Yes. How we doing?
Good,
You guys all look
great.
so nervous. You're all just like, hey. You guys look good, though. Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah,
You guys excited?
We're good.
Yeah?
We're good.
You
First outing.
Yeah, good to have you guys. At first when we were talking about the show, and I was like, oh man, we're gonna have 4 girls in here. I was like, man, this is gonna be interesting. But then I realized this is like every day for me at my house, like literally every day.
It is.
I have 5 daughters, 4 of them are at home, and so this is like a preview of my life right here. And so thank you, David, for hanging out with us, kind of give us a little bit of a buffer. But and thank you guys for coming. Excited for you guys to be here and be a part of the show a little bit. Obviously, we've known each other for a long time. We're all part of the same circle, kind of small group that we've been a part of. But I thought maybe a good place to start the conversation is just kind of how we all met, right? It's kind of interesting how we all got connected. And so we've been friends for a long time with your husbands. Ashley, you joined the community about 2.5 years ago, and I just think it's hilarious how you and your husband got to be a part of our community. And so the first time we met you guys was at Tequila, right? But now, what's funny is the whole time we were like game planning, right? Erin, you want to talk a little about that? So you guys had told us that you met these guys and you wanted us to meet. And so basically it was like setting up like a blind date for like friends, basically is what it was, right?
Yeah. Josh had met Erin.
Josh is your husband.
Josh is my husband. And Ashley on the end here, her husband's name is Erin. And so they met at my husband's restaurant. And so this was actually the first time that I had met either Erin, her husband, or Ashley.
Was that Tequila?
Yeah, it was at Tequila.
Yeah.
And so, and it was like, it was just so funny to kind of have all of these worlds meld together for the first time.
So we were texting about you guys like for like weeks and months. We're like, this was like a huge deal. And one last twist that I think is really interesting is, so we've known you guys for a long time. And we just found out the other day that you were at our wedding. And so
Not necessarily invited.
Not invited, yes.
Because it was like 13 years ago.
Yeah, that's how we found out. She
know
wasn't
her.
invited to our wedding, but apparently she was at our wedding.
Well, we didn't know.
Yeah,
We didn't know her. It's not like we didn't want to invite her. We just didn't know her.
Right. Yeah, she was a +1.
Right,
And
I
she
had
was
never
at my
met.
wedding.
Right.
Like, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
Like, none of my current friends were at my wedding except
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
So
she was
that's,
there.
like,
And
such
so,
a fun thing.
It
yeah.
is.
Do you remember being at our wedding? Was it a good wedding?
I do. I remember, well, what's funny is I missed the ceremony, so I don't know what I was doing something else. I came to enjoy the dinner.
By the way,
The
we
dancing.
ran out of food at our wedding. That's why. I was wondering why.
This is why.
Seriously, we
It
like
was
ran. I was like,
me.
where did all the food go? It's because did you bring a gift, by the way? I feel like I've been wanting to ask you that. You did not bring a gift. Yeah. So my wife and I did college ministry. You didn't bring a gift. Did you bring a gift?
I
think
don't
you-
know.
Yeah, that's a no. You
That
didn't
might
bring
be
a
the
gift.
first wedding I did.
So you crashed our wedding, ate our food, and didn't bring us a gift. And so
It was 13
by
years
the way,
ago.
just real quick, Ashley and I were talking about today, and I actually found a video of you at our wedding while we were dancing. And so this was before like smartphones and all that stuff. So literally we had to record this on the TV. But I just want to show you.
Dude.
So we're dancing. I know you guys. We're doing the YMCA right now. So that's me. Wait for you. So wait till. Oh yeah. Oh wait. Yes. And so there you go.
I'm like in your family.
She's in our family picture, y'all. And so I guess it's a good thing. I guess it's a good thing
Did you
that
guys rewatch it today?
I did.
she was going through it. She was sending me videos and clips.
Proof of life.
We're dancing.
Yeah, you were right there in our family.
I'm a true wedding crasher. Yeah.
And so, but look at you now. You're basically family. So that's awesome. So, you guys want to play a game? Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad you say yes, because we're playing it either way. I was just being nice. And so, but it's good to have you on board. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to play the Not-so-newlywed games. And I promise you, you don't want to miss this. It's going to be hilarious. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Yes. Hey, welcome back to Late Night with Sammy. In case you missed it, I am joined by my friends. I keep on saying Erin Martle, but it's Erin Wang, Ashley A, Brittany Mickelay, and Ashley Kent. Everybody in the house. Yes. We are going to play the Not-so-newlywed game. And so, just in case you know how this is played, I was on Zoom with your husbands last night, and it was hilarious. I asked them a series of questions. I'm going to ask you guys the questions. And so the idea is you get about 3 to 5 seconds to write down what answer you feel like your husband gave to these questions. Once you write them down, you're going to flip them, and I'll reveal their answers. David, you're going to keep score for us. Is that okay? And so let's do this like golf. So low score wins, right? And so if you get it wrong, just don't worry about it. David's got the scorecard. You guys look confused. All right, you got it. And so if you get the answer wrong, you get 500,000 points. How's that sound? Does that sound good? Can you do math? Just if they get it wrong, they get 500,000 points. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Just do normal numbers and add zeros to it at the end if that So, okay, you guys ready to do this? You guys ready? So we got to fill it in there. 3, we fold it over, and then we go from there. You guys ready for a newlywed game? Anybody online? Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you a couple like little ones just to kind of get started. And so I asked your husbands last night, who is the better driver? Who's the better driver? Who's the better driver? You guys ready? All right, you can turn your answers around. Turn your answers around. I like how you put me, Sammy, Jeff. So all the guys are the better answers. So Erin said he's the better driver, so good job. Jeff said he's the better driver. I said I'm the better driver. And Josh said you're the better driver. That's good. How about a hand? That's good. Good job. That's a good job. Now, Dave, did you just say that because you knew that's what I would say, or do you actually believe I'm the better driver? I mean,
That's what you would say.
okay. So you don't actually... So you don't actually believe I'm the better driver?
I'm not a good driver.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm the better driver by default. Our kids even think I'm the better driver.
That's true.
They do. They say it all the time. Okay, all right. Next one. All right. Who's the better kisser? Ooh. Oh, I know. That's like what? I know. That's not spicy at all. That's like nothing compared to some of these. Okay. I asked your husband, who's the better kisser? Come on, let's go, let's go. You got it, you got it. Frame it around, frame it around. Okay. It's interesting. All right, Erin Kent says, what do you have, Ashley? Erin said that he was the better kisser. And so, sorry about that. Jeff said Brittany is the better kisser. And I quote, he said, she can really put the moves on if she really wants to. I don't know what that means, but that's what he said. And so I said my wife's a better kisser, which is good. And Josh said you're the better kisser. So good job, good job. So sorry, Ashley, you get 500,000 points on that one. And so, David, you can just keep it on the same paper, man. You don't gotta. Are you good?
Yeah. All right.
Who's losing right now? Who's in the lead? I feel like I need to check in on you. You good? You got it?
It's close. It's close all around.
It's close all around. Okay. All right. All right, question number 3. You guys ready? What's something, I asked your husband, what's something that your wife does that annoys you to no end? So something you do that just... they wrote that fast. They wrote this fast. Are we ready? Yes, high five, yes. Yes, for being self-aware. The trash. Oh my goodness.
I stack it.
She stacks the trash. Anybody else do this? Like it's like there's no, like she just keeps putting stuff on top of it. I'm like, grab another bag, take it out. It's like, then I have to pick trash up from the bottom. And so good answer, the trash. You guys are still working on it a little bit?
That's like a sentence.
It's like it's a sentence. Okay. All right. Okay, so Ashley, the trash, we got that. Jeff said, you said Sadie in the bed
and licking.
Sadie's your dog, right? And licking. That's not what he said. He said, when you take his work clothes that he lays out and you throw them in a pile and they get all wrinkly. Like he's like that.
I've been talked.
You've been talking. That seemed to really bother him, so he said that. When you ask him to do things and he's leaving for work, he said, she always tells me to shave. So does that count? Is that a part of it?
That is part of it.
That is a part of the list. That's one of the things on there. So I don't know. The judge can decide if we're going to give you points for that or not. I'm not really sure. Do we give her points for that or not? Yeah? No? Okay, sure. We'll give her the points for that. And then you said, don't lock the door. And Erin, oh, gosh. Are you ready for this? No. He says, I'm sorry. But it's just what he said. I quote. He said...